All right, so our Division II championship game coming up between the St. Louis Rams and also the Seattle Slam. Playing for St. Louis, .5, Clayton Braun, number 13. .5, Kevin Geeky, number 21. And I apologize for saying that last name incorrectly. Number 1, Steve Reisenbeichler, number 26. 1.5, Mike Schamberg, number 0. 1.5, Kerry Morgan, number 1. 2.0, Eric Newby, number 9. 2.0, Chuck Melton, number 22. 2.5, Larry Porter, number 10. 3.0, Daniel Mellenthin, number 2. 3.0, Benjamin Anderson, number 23. 3.0, David Miles is number 4. And 3.5, Glenn Bell, number 11. Coach Sue Tucker for the St. Louis Rugby Rams. Assistant coach Megan Gottlieb. Support staff Lindsay Campworth, Ralph Schramberg, and Pops Melton. The Seattle Slam. For Seattle Slam, .5, Matt Clay, number 2. .5, Chris McCarty, number 3. 1.0, Mike Wagner, number 7. 1.0, Jeremy Hannaford, number 13. 1.5, Eric Bell, number 14. 1.5, Kurt Chapman, number 15. 2.0, Michael Likens, number 6. 2.0, Brian Chafin, number 10. 2.0, Chris Curtis, number 12. 2.5, Neil Sperry, number 5. 3.0, Paul Walston, number 11. And 3.0, Leon Jogensen, number 1. The coach for the Seattle Slam is Brad Mickelson. Assistant coach is Mike Clay. Support staff Kevin Bell and Tiffany Miner. St. Louis is ranked number 1. Seattle is ranked number 2. Both teams work their way throughout pool play here at the Division II championships. We're getting on-court introductions for the crowd here. Well, that was player introductions here at the Louisville, Kentucky International Convention Center. I'm joined here at the table by the man of the hour. It is the commish, Mr. James Terry Gumbert.
Thank you, Gabriel. We'd like to say thank you for all the good people at Fraser Rehab and City of Louisville, the Louisville Convention Center, for their hospitality this week and putting on a first-class national championship.
First class.
First class. Gabriel, we got a game here. We got the St. Louis Rugby Rams going against the Seattle Slam. Two different types of rugby going to be played out here. We got one team playing a high-low line, if you will, and the other one with a more balanced, almost like a deuce line.
A deuce line, Coach Gumby. High-low meaning three-pointers, 2.5ers and above, maybe?
Well, two really dedicated ball handlers and two dedicated pickers.
Gotcha. And very quick, I'd like to send a big thank you out to Bob Murray from Las Vegas. Had to catch a flight home, but Bob did a great job here on the mic.
Bobby always does a good job. He steps in not only on the mic. Somebody has a wheel off. Somebody needs to be lifted out of their chair. Bob's your man. Back to the action. We have Seattle on the board first with a 1-0 lead.
Eric Newby racing down the court, Coach.
A player like Eric is who's able to play almost above his classification is such an advantage for St. Louis.
Absolutely, and a young player, Mr. Newby is.
That he is.
As intelligent as he is on the court, he's still got plenty of room to learn more.
Well, I think we all do. I mean, Gabe, if you look at the game for what it is that we all have room for improvement.
Picking up stuff one day at a time. Oh, that's an interception right there.
First turnover of the game, controlled by number 1 for the Seattle Slam.
That's Leon Jogensen. Leon, I believe, little use of his forearms, Commish, but he's got some good biceps and triceps to make up for it.
Actually, Leon is one of the few international players in Division II. He's actually resides from Denmark, which Coach Mikkelsen works with as a coach as well as an instructor.
Leon applying a lot of pressure out there onto the St. Louis Rugby Rams to Eric Newby. However, he's able to pass it over to Chuck Melton.
Leon can't do everything.
He's got to rely on his other teammates as well. Right, Coach?
Up. Oh, and just as easy as Seattle got one off of St. Louis, it looks like St. Louis has been able to get one out of Seattle. Steal from Eric Newby right there.
Handing it over to his partner, Chuck Melton, who goes back to Eric Newby. Newby pushes for the corner.
And right there, we pull the game tight, 3-3.
Just like that, Commish, it goes back and forth.
It is a game of back and forth. So a lot of times you'll see out there, somebody will have a turnover. They'll give it right back with another turnover. We call that the turnover to turnover.
Defense being so tight out there for St. Louis, they are able to cause Seattle to call a timeout, use 1 of 4.
That's right. We already in the past 2 possessions, you've seen a change in the St. Louis defense where they've gone more into a little bit of a soft zone. And by doing that, they've caused not only 1 turnover, but they've forced them to call a quick timeout back-to-back.
A little bit over 6.5 left in this first quarter, Commish. Score is tied 3-3.
Referee Marianne Duda gives us the whistle.
Duda.
Plays back on.
Duda. A little bit of low point love right there, Commish.
Well, it is. I mean, one of the hard things that happens when you have a low pointer that's inbounding is that the range and the accuracy of the passes isn't as good as if you have somebody that's like a 2-5, 3. So it's a good chance to challenge somebody, and that's what St. Louis has been able to do so far.
So as a low pointer, you've got to have not only a good pick, but also good hands enough to make a catch just for the give and go.
It sure doesn't hurt.
still a tie game, 4-4.
It's probably going to be anybody's game here, Gabriel. I mean, these two teams have gone all season. You won't expect anybody to have anything in their gas tanks at the end of this game.
I wouldn't expect so, Kamish. You know, both teams made their way through pool play here quite handily, and able to make it to the championship round today. With the 11:30 start time.
Ball in. Oh,
there's a
Class 1-5 Schamberg under great pressure from Paul Watson and Leon from Denmark, able to sustain the pressure, keep his composure, finally dish it off.
You know, he got real close to an over and back there, Coach.
He did.
But Seattle Storm player Paul Walston was able to keep him from going.
And Gabe, talk to us a little bit about what that over and back is.
Well, the over and back is you've got to advance the ball up court. Once you make it past half court, as in basketball, you cannot take that ball back across into the back court.
And what is the penalty on that?
Well, the penalty, it's a turnover, Coach.
Yep.
We've got an equipment timeout.
For those first timers out here, when there's an equipment on the court, you have exactly a minute to repair it, and or you have to be subbed.
And you have to be on the court for that to happen?
You do need to be on the court. I mean, the referees will allow you movement on the court, but they will not allow you to go to your bench for the timeout. I mean, for the equipment.
Great outlet pass by Kerry Morgan to Mike Schamberg for the score. Tied up again, 6-6. Seattle looks to be inbounding the ball low pointers the entire time, Kamish.
Well, you notice, if you're watching Seattle move left to right on your radio dial, the one thing that you'll note is that how low they're getting the ball in. I mean, St. Louis is doing a great job of just playing a little bit of soft pressure, but they're forcing them to go almost 94 feet of the court. They're not able to advance it 30, they're getting 94. So that's a big thing. And timeout here called by Eric Newby as he was charging towards the cone. Big Leon comes in from Denmark and kind of takes that angle that he had away from him, but smartly Newby calls their second timeout of the game.
St. Louis Rugby Rams in their light jerseys, gray jerseys, blue piping. The Seattle Slam in their red jerseys,
black piping.
Now, Commissioner, you had mentioned that Eric Newby had called timeout making his way to the cone. Are you not allowed to run into that cone? Is that not?
Yeah, the cone is considered part of the court, and if you run into that court, into that cone, if that happens, then when you do that, you're in a position where it's a violation. It's a violation, and it being a violation, it's either a turnover or a loss of possession.
A little discussion with
I think the shot clock was just a little bit inadvertently switched on and off here, and they're going to reset it down to 28 now. For those watching, learning the game here, we do have a 40-second clock that from the inbound to the time you take it over the goal line, you have 40 seconds.
40 seconds to play.
That's right. If you do not score in that time, it's a turnover. You are afforded a small reset. If you call timeout, it resets to 15 seconds if it's below it.
So you're giving time back on the clock?
Only for a timeout, though.
Gotcha.
Oh, just a hard luck there for Slam player Mike Wagner. It bounces off his noggin, and he's not able to retain possession of it. And it's going to be St. Louis ball here on the side. And, again, we're going to be resetting the shot clock down.
Commissioner, I think that shot clock's going to be real low. They had the ball in for a while, and
it's going to be a low number out there for sure.
They're They're not going to have much time.
Well, a lot of these teams that are, your higher caliber, D2, lower D1, all the way up, they work on these strategies where they have just a small amount of time to get that goal in.
Unfortunately, Eric Newby takes the inbound and is called for the hold.
And define that hold for us there, Gabe.
Well, the offensive player, when he's got the ball in his lap, Kamish, he cannot touch any other part of the opposing team's or opposing player's chair.
And what's the violation for that if you do?
Well, the violation is you get to turn that rock over. And just like that, Seattle goes up 8-6. Again, St. Louis traveling from right to left on your radio dial. Eric Newby in a little bit of traffic. Kerry Morgan able to provide a good enough pick to get him into the open.
If you're watching this game, Schamberg for St. Louis is just doing all the dirty work. I mean, he's got one of these chairs that's got the long front end on it, cow catcher, if you will. He is just absolutely chewing up one of the St. Louis players, and as a result, Lars, check that. Leon and Paul are for the St. Louis team. I mean, for the Seattle team, are just expending so much energy trying to get away from him.
It could be that could be a dirty sham, not the sham wow.
That's right. The third timeout of this quarter has been called by Newby on the inbound.
And that's 3 of 4, Coach.
That's 3 of 4. I mean, they're running low at this point. They may think about trying to find different ways to maybe save 1 or 2 of those. I know they have 2 coaches' timeouts as well as 1 TV timeout, if you will.
TV timeout, yeah. They've got a long game left, and this is still in the first quarter.
Yep.
Without I imagine that without the rest of those timeouts, that might be a little costly for them towards the end of the game.
Well, they're there for a reason. I mean, if you don't use them, you can't take them home with you. And
gotcha.
If you hold on to them, you're really kind of doing yourself a disservice.
Kerry Morgan with the inbound give and go pass. She's got the ball now. There's a dirty sham. Looking to help out teammate Kerry Morgan. Puts it in Chuck Melton's lap.
Two big brutes going at it down there. Chuck Melton, Leon.
Kerry Morgan able to put enough chair on Leon just to let her teammate Chuck Melton get in the score. Leon's in traffic. Gets clear.
Leon looking for a little bit of Leon time out here. With his, I believe that's his 4th goal of this first quarter.
Brings our score 10-8. St. Louis. Excuse me. That's your Seattle Slam. Eric Newby with the inbound give and go pass.
Lots of patience there by Newby. I mean, no rush. Knew he had 12 seconds to get it over half court. Just took his time, followed his picks, looked for the open person. Well done.
Unfortunately, during that patience, he happened to get his teammate Chuck Melton knocked up onto the front end of his picker.
Well, it happens out there. I mean,
I know
they have to bring the fire hose out to separate them, but
I know they're trying to help each other out, but
that may be the definition of too much help.
That might hurt more than help.
Yep.
Paul with a great push up the sideline. Outlet pass over to Leon for the score.
It's what we were talking about earlier, Gabriel. You look at the chairs on these low pointers, both for Seattle as well as St. Louis, and they're able to just chew up those high pointers.
Newby with a gentle pass, if you will, to teammate Kerry Morgan for the score. He didn't fastball it down or didn't curve it down. I mean, just a nice little touch.
It's not how you drive, Gabe. It's how you arrive, really.
Can I get a golf clap?
a lot of times if you're watching this at home and it looks like Seattle's kind of going down the court and not being challenged in the front court a lot, it's because they're putting so much pressure in the back court, trying to get those stops, trying to get them turned, trying to put them in situations where they're going to have to start throwing to the low pointer.
Number 0, Dirty Sham, the Shambird. He gets that score.
Little known fact. Oh, there it is. There's that possible turnover. There it is. Chuck Melton.
Ball came just off the front of Leon's chair. Couldn't control it. Paul tried to pick it up, couldn't.
Kelly Cowell with the illegal player on the Seattle team call, which is awarded a penalty goal to St. Louis.
Not allowed to leave the court, are you, Coach?
Not while game is in play.
That's Paul Walston moving up middle of the court there. Leon able to create a little space for him, trying to keep that defender off of him, pulling him down, giving him time to score.
13-12 right now, Gabriel. We're still in the first.
It's unbelievable the speed that's on the court right now, these two Division II teams. I mean, as you said earlier, Kamish, both these teams could go. Both these teams could go. It could have gone into the Division I. However, they are the top two teams of the Division II. That was a quick inbound intercepted by Leon for the score.
Newby bringing it up, a 3-on-1 break. Trying to find Sham.
Shambird communicating, come back. Do you hear that a lot out there?
It's so critical to have a good communicator out on the court. I mean, a lot of times when you look at these guys and they're not in shape, the first thing that goes is their voice. They just stop talking, and it relies on guessing at that point, and you got a 50-50 chance in that.
Leon's got the rock, heading on his way towards the sideline, able to call timeout before he's pushed out.
Looks like he ran into Hall of Famer Joe Soros over there.
Brand new Hall of Fame inductee today.
That's right. Joe Soros getting back in the action.
Looks like he was trying to get a couple of hints.
He might have been trying to pick up a few tactics from him.
That's right. And you're probably wondering why Leon's taking the long road.
Why is Leon taking the long road home?
Taking the long road home because it may look but these courts are not flush with the convention center floor.
Okay.
It's probably about inch and a half. I'd go even 2 inches. A 2-inch lift, if you will.
These chairs are made so that they, it's a struggle for them to get up and over a 2-inch lift. They're designed to all 4 wheels or even 6 wheels, sometimes 5 wheels, stay on the court with no ability to, kind of lift up, if you will. So it's a challenge without a ramp.
Not allowed to do a Papa Wheelie in these things. Not a lot of Papa Wheelie in.
Not a lot of Papa Wheelie. Back to the action here. St. Louis has fallen back into the key.
Key defense. Now, Commissioner, are they in that key defense maybe for a break? Maybe that's just a better defense they're running for him?
It may be because that's one of their better defenses. They just got a turnover. Carrie Morgan applying the pressure there. She's going to get credited for that turnover.
And it worked.
It did work.
Got about 51 seconds left in this first quarter.
Here's where tactics are going to come into play here, Gabriel. These tactics, you want to get the last goal. You want to have the jump to get that 2-point swing. If you can't get both of them, you got to have one of them so you can just maintain level.
So there's being 40 seconds on the shot clock, with the game clock being just around 51 seconds. Kamish, I'm guessing you want to score as quickly as possible.
Well, you want to put the other team in the position where they have to start thinking, and if they're below 40 seconds, you probably go for a last goal. But if they're looking at something where they're 50 seconds, then they got to decide. I mean, you can use a timeout, you can get the reset after 40 seconds that are expired. The one thing you don't want to do is that you don't want to take that. You got to take that goal. You have to take that goal. You can't take the score off the clock. I mean,
take the points.
Always take the points.
Take the points. There's about 20 seconds left. I imagine St. Louis Rugby Brand's going to go for that last goal as you're speaking there, Commish.
He's got the possession arrow on this here, Gabe.
Commish, I can't see that arrow right now. Eric Newby in a little bit of traffic.
Oh.
Turns it over, look
like
out.
Last second turnover.
Uh-oh, unfortunately.
Had a chance for a last second.
And he might get it. Oh, I heard the timer first, Coach.
Did they award the goal?
They gave it to him.
Kelly Cowell, referee out of the Pacific, gave that goal to the Seattle Slam.
No,
At the end of first quarter,
at the
we
end
have
of one.
Seattle 16, St. Louis 14. Okay, well, we got a few seconds here. We'd like to recognize our sponsors. Who do we have this year?
Well, we've got Vesco metal chairs. For the best in chairs, you want to try Vesco. Coloplast. You want to make it last? Let's try Coloplast. We've also got Excalibur sports chairs. Push with a purpose. Push Excalibur. We're also looking at AstroTech, Eagle sports chairs, Fusion Medical, AmRamp.
That's right. And a very special thank you to our banquet sponsor this year. Came in late, but really provided a needed service, and that'd be CNR Medical.
CNR Medical out of Fort Worth, Texas.
That's correct. Tagging in here, we're going to see, we see that St. Louis has one 30-second timeout, and they also have two coaches' timeouts. Not sure on the count. Not sure on the count on the Seattle timeouts.
That's 2 and 2, Commish.
2 and 2 for the Seattle team.
2 on the floor, 2 on the bench.
2 on the floor, 2 on the bench.
Don't forget our live auction going on right now. USQRA.com. Quad Rugby.
You know, Gabe, if you are a veteran, if you are a new player, if you just want to be a player, here is an opportunity to get in on some incredible pricing on chairs that are built by the best manufacturers in the world.
Rock bottom prices.
To your specifications.
They'll measure you. They'll fit you. And I can't tell you at how important it is to have a chair that is fit for you.
Back to the action here. Seattle's ball coming out. I'm sorry, check that. That'd be St. Louis balls coming out.
Chuck Newby getting a little pressure from the low pointer from Seattle. And with that pressure, he turns the ball over.
It was what we talked about. If you noticed, Eric had a low pointer on him, but that low pointer had that tough front end that it's just so hard to get away from.
Number 13, Jeremy Hannaford, I believe, had that pressure on him. Ball's in to number 11, Paul Walston. He's met by Schamberg. However, St. Louis able to run him down. Dropping into the key. Carrie Morgan trying to get that corner. And she does. Seattle having to reset their offense. Oh, and that's a quick turnover, Commish.
It is a game of turnovers. I told you it's going to be a heavyweight fight right here. These guys are going to go back and forth, back and forth.
Oh, and right there, I believe that's our last TV timeout, sir.
But they saved that goal. I mean, that chance to get that goal off that turnover, rather than give it right back to them. They took a little bit of patience. Going to collect themselves here with this timeout. Go out and try and get this goal. They get this goal, they're 1 point into this game.
It's a great game right now. Division II championship going on. Currently, Seattle is winning 16, Seattle is ahead 16-14.
Yep.
But as you said, St. Louis was able to prevent that goal and get the turnover.
I mean, yeah, in theory, here we have Seattle looking to try and go up by 3, and now all of a sudden, just a crazy turn of events, we have St. Louis being able to pull back to 1.
St. Louis, in essence, says, "No way, not today."
Well, if you're thinking of this, I mean, you're looking at this right now. We've got a game that isn't going to be decided in the first quarter, in the second quarter. It's going to come down to a conditioning battle at this point, a conditioning battle.
Chuck Melton on the sideline running out of real estate at half court.
Oh, what a pass and what a catch, and spun right into the goal. Chuck Melton, great presence, great composure, excellent goal for the St. Louis Rugby Rams there.
Seattle's moving the ball up court. Tried to pass to a low pointer, unfortunately.
Another turnover right there. 2 possessions in a row, Gabriel.
It's 16-15. St. Louis has a good chance to tie this game up, Coach.
Look at the transition in between the whistles. Seattle had their hands in their laps trying to recover right there, and here we go.
Hands on your wheels.
You got it. In a game like this, D1, D2 national championship, there's no stop in the game. It's a fluid game where everybody's pushing and moving at the same time.
Running out of time, St. Louis is. Mike, the dirty Shamberg, as you said, doing the dirty work.
Wow.
Wow. Number 13, Jeremy Hannaford, inbound in the ball for St. Louis. Leon Jorgensen.
You see Kerry Morgan chasing down Paul for Seattle. Kerry was part of the USA development team as well as the USA team in the past. She's now looking to try and get the daily double and be a member of the track team for the London Paralympics coming up in August.
Double dipping, Coach.
Double dipping.
That's fantastic. And Bob and I were mentioning earlier the athleticism, the commitment it takes to get on these courts, to play at this level. Chuck Melton, Eric Newby, Kerry Morgan, all Paralympians in a sense, or developing to be a Paralympian.
Right you are there, Gabriel. I mean, they embody the spirit of what it takes. I mean, sacrifice, heart, desire. Those are things you can't always teach. You just have to hope they get it.
Great pick by the ShamWow. Allows Kerry Morgan to advance the ball up court. Tie game, Kamish, 18-18. Still early in the second quarter.
I think looking at our notes here, there's already been 5 turnovers per side in this game.
As you said, Coach, I believe, this game is going to be decided in the last seconds.
The other thing you need to think about is and we're talking about it, is conditioning. We're in a warm gym. A lot of these players are used to going against teams where, they can get some subs in. Some players that doesn't have a lot of development aren't maybe ready for the A-line. And now, these starters are probably going to be asked to go 32 minutes here. And it's going to come down to who's in condition, who's playing smart, who's got the right tactics out there. It's going to be a great into the second quarter and third and fourth.
A little bit of low point love here, Kamish, as we got low point to low point. Inbound pass and a fantastic advance out the court.
That's Mike Wagner. Mike is he's a product of the USA program. He was on Team USA in 1999. Took that team over to Australia and New Zealand. And Little known fact, Mike was actually a pitcher before he was injured.
Baseball.
That's correct.
So an athlete already. Just able to carry it over.
That's absolutely correct.
We got Seattle in the key defense. A fantastic pass by Eric Newby into the middle for Chuck Melton to score. 20-20 right now. Paul's able to get that ball across half court. A little bit of pressure from Carrie Morgan. She falls back into the key, coach. Looks like that might be St. Louis's bread and butter.
Well, you remember the last time they fell back in the key, they were able to capitalize on that and create a turnover.
I believe so, yes, sir. Got 9 seconds on the shot clock. Oh, and there's a batted ball by Mr. Chuck Melton off the arm of number 11.
Sticky defense down there in the key.
Kamish, you said it. Falling into the key creates that turnover. Carrie Morgan with the inbound pass into Chuck Melton. Chucky happens
the
to
long pass to ShamWow. Waiting for some help here.
Oh,
taking the big hits.
The Schamberg.
Just a down in the trenches kind of guy. You gotta like that.
I like that guy.
Turnover.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you that it's a game of turnovers, Kamish, as you said before.
It is. Now, that was off Leon's front chair. Inbound from Mike Wagner on that one. Just fell just a little short of Leon's outstretched arms there. Now, strangely enough, here we go. We have Seattle looking to employ the same type of defense as St. Louis did.
Unfortunately, it's a little holy. It is Sunday, however, so they're able to score. Leon's able to advance that ball up court with a little bit of help from his low pointers. Goes uncontested into the goal.
I'd say that was with a lot of bit of help from his low pointers.
(22-21) St. Louis. And there's a Schamberg again.
Just giant hits. I mean, just brutal hits out there. You know, 10, 15 years ago, the chairs that we were playing, hit like that, what you just saw right there, would just blow the wheels off of it. We'd have to stop, probably get another player in because it would just break up the chair. And credit to the manufacturers who build these chairs these days. They build them for these types of collisions out here.
Chair technology has come a long way from then to now.
Absolutely. The thing that's different is that I think in the past, the thing that would break is the chair, and now the thing that gives is probably the athlete.
Absolutely. St. Louis defense able to create another turnover.
If you think back probably 2-3 minutes ago, Seattle was fighting to get back in this game, and here we are. They're up by 2 now.
St. Louis, you mean?
I did say, I'm sorry if I said Seattle, it's St. Louis.
Eric Newby picks up that ball. Goes into the score, making St. Louis score 24-21. They're up by 3 now. And as you said, they were down by 3.
One of the things you'll notice is that Leon and Paul, where they used to be using their speed to beat players up and down the court, now they're starting to slow down a little bit, trying to find some picks. Could be a conditioning issue.
Could be, Coach. Yeah, you're correct. They were moving earlier, but here in the middle of the second quarter, yeah, it does look to be slowing down just a bit. Carrie Morgan trying to get that ball across half court.
Just an excellent dump off there from Carrie Morgan to Chuck Melton. heard a pop out on the court. Looks like it might be Jeremy from Seattle. Looks like he's got a flat tire.
Coach, we're at about minute 31 left in the second quarter of the first half. 25-22, St. Louis Rugby Rams over the Seattle Storm right now. Seattle's inbound. There's a give and go pass. Paul's able to get that ball cross half court. Kerry Morgan retreating into the key. They've got numbers, Kamish.
They do.
They're able to capitalize.
You know, as we look around the friendly confines here at the Louisville Convention Center, this is our first year to be able to be a part of this facility. In the past, we've been out in the Fair Park, and what an upgrade for us here.
First grade facility.
Oh, 100%. With a marathon and balloon glow, it's just been a great week here.
Yeah, Kamish, we got a report yesterday that you actually competed in the marathon.
That is absolutely correct. I was able to push in it, and I'm happy to report that I'm here today to talk about it.
I mean, it's amazing for you to find the time not only to compete in that marathon and report to your coaching duties and be the commissioner of the United States Quad Rugby Association. Just unbelievable.
When you look back at how things are in life, a lot of credit goes to God, and I'm just very blessed to have good trainers, good nutrition, and at the end of the day, I'm just really fortunate to have people around me that are just a great support staff. I mean, I'd like to Marianne Duda, referee, calls a timeout here. Actually, it's the St. Louis team that calls a timeout. They have 3 seconds left on the clock, looking to get that last goal that we talked about.
I believe St. Louis used their last timeout.
That may be the mystical fifth timeout.
I think you might be correct. I think
Coach Mickelson over there for the Seattle team is thinking the same thing. At the end of two, halftime upon us. It's St. Louis 26, Seattle 24.
Just a great game right now. D2 championship going on right now.
This back and forth, it's up-tempo game. Truly what you want to see in a championship game. Turnovers, contact. It's all you can ask for.
Absolutely, and both teams are showing that they have the capability to step up into Division One.
Sure. While we have a few seconds, we have a auction going on, Gabriel, if I'm correct.
A live auction.
And that auction is for chairs, wheels. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, we've got our major chair sponsors and builders. Kiwi Concepts, Melrose, here out of the United States. Vesco Metalcraft, Excalibur Sports Chairs, and also Eagle Sports Chairs. All have donated chairs for auction. They're online right now. I believe that link is on the USQRA website.
And that's quadrugby.com.
Quadrugby.com. And I believe ihigh.com also has a link.
Fantastic. So if you're out there, you're listening, and you're wondering how can I get some of the chairs that the pros use, this is actually where you need to go. I mean,
it's a great opportunity right now. Last we checked, the only chair out there right now, I believe there was a bid for about $3,000 on it, but all the other chairs are still about $1,000, Coach.
That's just incredible. I mean, you expect those prices to go up, but get on the ground floor of that. I mean, you don't want to mess around.
Don't delay, call today.
Well, we're back here. First half is completed. looking at the scoring here, we have for the Seattle Slam, we had Leon Jorgensen from Denmark as their import player, leading all players with for the Slam, leading all players with 11. We have Paul Walston with 9, and for the St. Louis Rugby Rams, Eric Newby leading us with 8, Chuck Melton with 7, Kerry Morgan with 5.
International player, so he's like a fine wine. He's been imported.
That he has. I mean, you look at the size of him. You look at the function that he has. It brings so much to the game. I mean, if the conditioning is there, this is going to be a war at the end of this 32 minutes.
Coach, I'm looking at the Seattle bench, and you were mentioning it earlier, conditioning and also conditions here in the gym. Looks like the heat might be affecting some of the team.
Well, it has. I mean, we came into Louisville and it was a little chilly outside, but it is warmed up not only on the court but outside as well now.
Yes.
And I mean, with the heat, the humidity, a little labor while you're pushing up and down the court, it's going to start adding up.
And as you said, conditioning. You want to, if you're at home, if you want to get to play, get out on the track, get into the gym.
You can't beat time off the court training. I mean, when you come into a gym and you're working with your team, it should be working on tactics, be working on plays, working on skill sets, because you don't want to spend all your time just pushing around in circles.
That's right.
Those are fine warm-ups and cool-downs, but you want to be working on those things that make a team good. The chemistry. The chemistry. I mean, it's so vital. I mean, when you look out here and you watch St. Louis play and you watch Seattle play, some of the passes that they're making, they're just making the areas and knowing that their teammates are going to be there. That doesn't come from, the first time you roll out on the court and just throwing the ball out there. That's chemistry.
That's right.
I don't see any subs coming out here. It looks like it's still going to be these 4 horsemen on both sides.
I believe you're right. We're going Ironman rugby for right now. A closely contested game to begin the third quarter. It's St. Louis 26, Seattle 24. But again, we'll see what the conditions here in the gym, how they affect these teams, Coach.
You bet. Hey, and while we got a few seconds, a couple people that got some awards earlier, we would certainly want to recognize those. That
Absolutely.
would be Joe Delagrave, who was picked for Athlete of the Year, actually. And our Spirit of Achievement Award for the association went to Carolyn Bobinger. And
that's correct. She does an excellent job.
She really does. And then finally, words can't quite capture the sentiment for many to finally see Joe Soares take the court again and receive that Hall of Fame induction that's just so long overdue.
That's a great achievement for Joe. It's a great award for him. He's been in the sport for a very long time, and he's achieved a lot with this sport as well, Kamish.
You bet.
Getting ready to start here. Seattle's ball. They're now scoring at home. They're traveling right to left on your radio dial.
Apparently we had a clock malfunction here. We're going to reset it and start it again.
I believe they call that a redo.
Some people call it a mulligan. If you guys and gals out there remember, this is turned out to be one of the benefit defenses of the St. Louis team, falling back into the key. Here they go.
That's Eric Newby going back and forth in the key, Coach.
He's just trying to take up space so that Paul is not able to attack and find an opening in there.
outlet pass.
What a pass. I mean, just laid right where it needs to be. Not a lot of spin. Able easily for anybody to run up under and just
keeping it in the
up.
middle of the court, Coach, as opposed to throwing it towards the sideline or at it low at the chair. He kept it high and in the middle.
You bet. Now, one of the things that I'm kind of noting here, Gabe, is that number 11 for Seattle, Paul Watson, looks like he's able to sweat. Now, for you people at home, it may not seem significant, but his ability to sweat in a hot gym is an advantage over most of the quadriplegics playing this game. Most of these guys don't have any temperature regulation, so as a result, they don't sweat well, and their core temperature goes up, which causes quick, early, and long-lasting fatigue.
And exhaustion.
So they're able to cool it down. That's right there. And so, that's a plus for the Seattle side right there.
That's right. And for anyone watching as well, anyone wanting to play the game, Kamish, how do they do that? Because I see some quadriplegics out there. I see some with taping all the way around their hands. There's some players that there's amputees I've seen. What's that definition?
Well, our sport is designed to be played by individuals that have impairment in all four limbs. Now, that could be an amputation, that could be a neurological issue, spinal cord injury, that could be any of those types of disability. Now, they go to a classification board that is it's actually composed of doctors, physios, therapists that assign them a classification. From that classification, they're then able to come out and participate in the game.
St. Louis had the ball in the key. Unfortunately, the pass from Chuck Melton to Eric Newby, Eric was not able to hang on to that ball, creating a turnover, which then Seattle inbounded and turned into a score.
There. Big hit. Again, one of those passes that is, you just throw it out there, you trust each other, you've done it a million times in practice. It pays dividends here in the biggest game of the year.
With that score by St. Louis brings our score to 29-27. 2-point game. Seattle is still in this game. Here in the third quarter, Leon's taking that ball, going all the way downtown.
You'd expect some probably different looks defensively. I know we've seen the key, maybe a little man. You might see some zones being played by the Seattle team. I mean, and then to that end, you might see a little bit more man being played by the St. Louis team coming up because fatigue, better matchups, chairs, guys, endurance level not able to push out of them. Could be some good changes coming up in here.
That's right. And with that score, we're now at 30-28, St. Louis. Oh, with that inbound pass, Paul is unable to handle it. However, it's off St. Louis. Seattle retains possession. Mike the Big Schamberg calling for an equipment. Kerry Morgan is getting the assistance. Inbound pass to Leon Jorgensen. Trying to get it across half court.
A little backwards pass there to Jeremy. You can start to see it now.
Little bit of traffic for Leon.
Yep. Wait. We have a wave off here.
Did he lose the ball?
I don't know. they've waved that goal off. I couldn't determine from where we're sitting.
I think quick hands Eric Newby was able to swipe it off his lap just before he went across that goal line.
Yep. Now, you'll remember they don't have any timeouts, so everything they do at this point is going to be in a situation that they have to, if they're in pressure, they have to be smart, maybe throw the ball in the front court if they're in the back court. They just have to play smart ball at this point with a 2-point lead, possession of the ball. They've got a lot of things going for them, that being St. Louis.
Seattle able to inbound the ball.
Oh! Set up perfectly by Kerry Morgan and Eric Newby.
Eric Newby starting to show a little motion out there.
Starting to feel it a little bit. You can see it in their face.
That's an over and back call, Coach. A little correction on the score across the way.
What do we got?
It is now 31 to 28.
31 to 28. Looking to take 4 points up on the Seattle Slam. If St. Louis is able to get this point, it's going to be tough for Seattle to keep falling back. I mean,
absolutely.
The time becomes an enemy for them at this point.
They'll have to attack that ball as much as possible to create those turnovers. Oh,
Newby with
an errant pass over
the outstretched hands of Chuck Melton. Now, there again is that turnover to turnover. We talked about it earlier.
That's right. You play from one turnover to the next, I believe.
Well, it's a game of 32 minutes, but a game of an hour and a half transitioning and hard work.
It's not a sprint, Kamish.
It's a marathon.
And just like that.
Turnover to turnover to turnover.
Just like that.
3 in a row. Coach Brad Mickelson looking for a coach's timeout here to try and settle his players down. Come out with a little bit different game plan. See if we got anybody on the Seattle bench warming up at this point.
I don't know if you know this, Coach, but that was the horn. The horn is an integral part of this game today.
It has been.
While we've got this coach's timeout, just want to mention the live auction we've got going on. quadrugby.com, sports chairs. Check them out. Get you one. Don't delay. Call today. You can get these things at a steal right now. Low prices.
You know, a couple groups that are here that we haven't recognized is the referees and classifiers. Without them, our association wouldn't exist. Their tireless dedication to make our sport fair is a credit to everything that we do that helps to change everything that it changes these guys' lives one hit at a time, Gabe.
It does. It does.
You know, our sport has come from such a place. I was speaking to the good folks at iHigh earlier today, and they told me that they have seen over 90,000 views on the website for this game. Or not for this game, but for this tournament.
That's fantastic.
What an incredible testimony to where our sport is and where it's going.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, with the use of social media as well, iHigh.com is just on top of it all. Nothing.
Here we go. Right back, there was a turnover. We had a turnover, and Eric reached, and now he's out of the penalty box. I believe the score is now 31-29.
St. Louis, a little bit of trouble, running out of time.
Well, they've not only run out of time, but they're out of timeouts.
They turn the ball over, trying to get the ball across half court. Seattle's number 1, Leon, is there to pick it up. And just
right
like
back
that,
to him. Turnover to turnover.
Trying to do the same thing. He was defense by Kerry Morgan and Mike Chamberg creating that turnover, causing havoc on Leon Jorgensen. Seattle now in the key defense. Eric Newby looking to run a play. Chuck Melton happens to fall into the key, looking for a pass. However, Kerry Morgan with a great pick on the corner, Coach. Newby just goes in right behind her. As we've all heard, it's like Walgreens. Open
it's on the corner, open 24 hours a day.
It's a great outlet pass to Mike Wagner. He's looking for a little help. He's able to dribble the ball. You've got to dribble or pass.
Yes, every 10 seconds.
Every 10 seconds. He's able to give that ball up to his teammate, Leon Jorgensen.
Here they go. Here goes St. Louis going back into the key.
Mike Wagner not only handling the ball, but then gets back into his play to make a great pick on the corner. Allows Leon to score.
Yep. Got an equipment here. Number 9 for St. Louis, Eric Newby, one of the strong players for that team, has a will that...
well, it's just not working for him right now, Commissioner.
He might as well have a square one out there at this point.
Seattle back in their key defense. St. Louis able to run inbound that ball pretty easily. We'll see what happens. You know, Seattle was able to get a stop a few plays ago, but that last one, they got a corner score. They tried that middle pass. However, Paul Walston was able to stop Chuck. Couldn't get the score. Running out of time. No score, Coach.
That's right. They had a turnover. Coach Sue Tucker for the St. Louis Rugby Rams calls a bench timeout right now.
Trying to get back on the same page. I think looked like they were a little confused for a second. Their key offense wasn't doing what they wanted to do, so it looks like...
That being St. Louis or Seattle?
St. Louis, I believe, yes.
While we have a few seconds, score 32-30 in favor of St. Louis. We'd like to thank and recognize the USQRA Board of Directors and welcome new member Nick Long to the Vice Presidency, First Vice President. Recognize Gary Pate, President. Carolyn Bobinger was nominated and voted into the Secretary position, as well as your co-host this last couple of games, Robert Bobo Murray, and then it's a credit to our sport. These people are working to give us a game that so many people enjoy.
And Commish, tell me if I'm wrong, but isn't Ron the Bank?
Ron the Bank Fredericks, and thank you for reminding me.
The new treasurer.
Well, he's a returning treasurer.
Returning treasurer. Eric Newby with the rock now. Able to get around Paul.
Kind of look at the Seattle players right now. They got their hands in their laps. They're not transitioning right now. They're trying to catch a breather where they can. We still got another quarter to go, Gabe.
They do, Kamish. As you said, it's 32 minutes of hell out there. On the 32 minutes of the game, but I believe you said an hour and a half of hard pushing. That inbound pass, just not able to get hands on is number 11, Paul Walston. He turns the ball over back to St. Louis Rugby Rams.
Here we go with a chance to put another point in separation here. 3-point possible lead for St. Louis on the line right now.
That would be huge going into the fourth quarter if they're able to keep that 3-point lead. St. Louis trying to run their offense. Eric Newby with a fantastic head fake.
You know, you got to use everything you got out here sometimes.
And
head fake.
And he did. St. Louis's defense working really well right now. They almost had another turnover. Seattle's looking for something.
They got a sleeper right here, Mike Wagner.
He's up there.
He's
high.
a sleeper. All they got to get that ball in
He's
and
high
throw
to
it
charge.
deep. Let's see.
And there it is.
There it is.
There it is, Commish.
Let's see if it's going to happen.
Mike Wagner with the reception.
Here comes the heat.
Great play by Mike Wagner.
Nice patience and presence out there by Mike Wagner.
Commish, there's no shot clock left. Time's running down.
We're looking at probably the last below 40 seconds in the quarter here. 32-34 in favor of St. Louis.
Mike, the dirty Shamberg.
Wow.
Wow. Dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun. Seattle takes that inbound pass. Paul Ralston trying to make it down.
No time left on the clock.
Commish, I don't think he knew there was any.
It did not look like he knew there was any time on the clock. There was no sense of urgency in going for that.
Not at all. I don't think he knew the situation on the court.
Well, the important thing is Chuck led with his head on this one. So, he's not going to damage anything with that.
I don't know. Some say a heads-up play.
You'll notice that mouse up under Chuck's.
And as you can tell, didn't work out so well for him.
Not as well as he wanted it to.
No, sir. I believe they had to bring in a cut man. Mick.
Fight Dr. Freddie Pacheco.
Better believe it. Cut me, Mick. Came right in.
We're back here getting ready to start the fourth quarter. It's St. Louis 35, Seattle 32. Again, we talked about the conditioning. I look over at the Denver. At the Seattle team. They look like they have got.
There's about a quarter of a tank left.
I'm not sure they've got that quarter in their tank.
Going to go a little less.
3-point deficit. You're looking at something right here where if St. Louis is able to get one more goal on them, make it a 4-point game, maybe start falling back, taking some time off the clock, playing to your advantage. They've already shown that they can get turnovers just as easily there as they do as when they're pressing.
Now, if they fall back, St. Louis, that is, into the key, will that give the Seattle team an opportunity to maybe catch a breather, making their way up the court? Or?
Well, Seattle is under the gun right now. They shouldn't have any time to catch a breather. The breather they caught was just right there at the quarter. Right now, there's got to be a big sense of urgency.
Well, this is it, Coach. Fourth quarter. St. Louis ahead 35-32. They're in it to win.
Taking his time.
Chuck Melton puts it in for the score.
4 points. 4 points, and they're still electing to keep the pressure on them. That's good conditioning right there.
That's great conditioning.
You hear the Seattle bench pleading to push.
He's real close on the line, Coach.
Absolutely.
He's able to get it away just in time.
The breathing's heavy. Not a lot of zip in the step.
Not a lot of steps in the zip. Wow. Lucky pass.
Lucky pass indeed.
About 3 seconds left on the shot clock. He's able to pull that pass down for the score. Outlet pass from Chuck Melton up to Mike Shamwow.
It is Shamwow.
Jeremy Hannaford trying to get back into the play. However, sleeper.
Looking for the deeper, the robber, if you will.
Oh, there's a turnover. Seattle going for a pass. Chuck Melton with his 7'5" wingspan, able to knock it down off the chair of Seattle.
With a little more than 6 minutes left in the game and a 4-point lead, Seattle's trusting their key defense to get them this turnover.
It's worked in the past. It's worked for them, a few quarters ago. But I as you said, I think they might be just a little tired. But
What we got?
Well, we've got leaving the court by number 11, Paul Walston.
Reset of the 40.
More time
to take off.
And that's all St. Louis, I believe, is trying to do is get that time off the clock.
It can't go fast enough for them.
Not at all. So our man, number 11, forward leaving the court, Paul Walston, goes into the no-no box.
Sin bin is what we call it.
The sin bin. That's the referee's get off my court place.
Now, Gabriel, as an athlete, have you ever seen the sin bin?
Kamish, I'm not going to lie. They don't call me Clean Hands Garcia for nothing. I may have seen the sin bin, but I can neither confirm nor deny.
Another turnover.
That pass went right off the head of their international player, Leon Jogensen, into the lap of Kerry Morgan. Two low pointers applying great pressure to Eric Newby, who has to give it up. Got 5:29 left in this fourth quarter of the Division II championship game. Shot clock. Great use of the shot clock there, Commissioner. 40 seconds. They ran it all the way down to 6. That's a good push.
They need more than that good push. They need strong defense right now.
That was a good push. I see some warm-ups. See some players warming up from Seattle bench. Eric Newby decided to go off the end of the court and take the long road home.
Yep. Just like Supertramp. Look at the outlet right there. Matt Shamwowberg.
Mike, and smartly pulls it out. Still working the clock out, about 20 seconds on the shot clock.
Just patience. I mean, Seattle is having to work as hard as they can to try and get a turnover, and now we're sitting here watching St. Louis just methodically just chipping at them.
Yeah. Eric Newby with a great wiggle there. Wiggle fake. That's what we like to call that. Oh, we've got
a stoppage in play here. with a coach's timeout from Brad Mickelson, coach of the Seattle Slam.
Looks like we've got a couple substitutions coming in for Seattle.
At about 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, we finally have some subs for the Seattle team. And looking at the score, 40 points for St. Louis, 34 for Seattle. Looks like the game's kind of in hand for St. Louis. While this is not by no means a testament that Seattle's going to give it up, they may be looking to their bench to try and help them out here. They've got to do something.
Seattle's going to be bringing in number 2, Mac Clay. And I believe also number 14, Eric Bell. Still sticking with the high-low. Correction. That's Kurt Chapman, number 15, coming in for Seattle. Going
it is.
inbound.
Kurt, a long-time player here in the USQRA. The Gray Ghost, as we call him.
Outlet pass attempt is denied by Kerry Morgan.
The past 3 possessions have ended in turnovers for him. And there they go to that deep outlet again with Schamberg.
The ShamWow.
It's just coming in bunches at this point.
This time he goes in for the score. And I believe you're correct, Kamish. Coming in bunches. Bushel of apples, if you will. Oh, and there's a timeout used by Seattle. I believe they only have one more TV timeout.
I think we started talking about this in the second quarter. Just the constant pounding by St. Louis is just taking its toll this game. I mean, it's not for lack of desire or heart or want from the Seattle team, but St. Louis has just been very smart using chair position, using contact, using key defense, using man-to-man press. They played a complete game.
Well, I thought when they used their last timeout early in the first half, I thought, it might have bit them in the butt, come late in the game. But as you said, just with their relentless defense, their great passing, they've been able to hold on and not be in a position where they had to use another timeout.
You bet.
However, I think they did get that ghost timeout.
Yeah, the Chris Webber, if you will.
And this also being a championship game, unfortunately, Chris Webber did not receive that timeout.
Set it up.
With valuable time ticking off the clock, it is St. Louis 41, Seattle 35.
We got about 3:41 left on the play clock.
3:41 left in the season for Seattle.
Kerry Morgan with a great outlet pass to the ShamWow. That might be it, Coach.
Well, you hear the cowbells ringing.
Yep. I've got a sickness. There's one thing that I need.
More cowbell?
A little more cowbell. The only remedy. A fantastic hit by the Gray Ghost.
Somebody needs to plug in the welding machine.
Kurt Chapman able to put a vicious hit on.
Somebody needs to plug in that welding machine.
On Chuck Melton. And I'm surprised Chuck Melton didn't use his head on that one. Oh, that's a great fake by the ShamWow.
Coast to coast.
Some could say all the way, Jay. Kurt with the inbound, and there's a desperation pass, which makes it into the hands of Leon Jogensen. And Chuck Melton Try
One of
to
the few fouls in the game there, Gabriel. It's been a relatively clean game. I mean, lots of contact.
lots of contact.
A lot of levity given to the teams to be aggressive, but one of the few times we've seen somebody in the penalty box.
Unfortunately, got caught for got his hand in the cookie jar.
You get one chance at it. You got to be careful with it.
Unfortunately, Chuck Melton now sitting in the no box or the sin bin.
Sin bin it is.
Chuck Melton back onto the court, uncontested, out of that penalty box.
43-37, about to pull it to 44-37.
I don't think anybody knew he was in that box.
Who's the player of the game for you, Gabe?
Right now it's a toss-up, but I'm going to have to go with St. Louis, number 9, Eric Newby.
I'm more of a gritty kind of a guy. I'm going to go with player number 0, Matt Schamberg. You do know he has a twin brother, Matt.
I do, yes.
Thanks for correcting me. It is Mike Schamberg.
The sham, the dirty sham, ShamWow. Great player, great all-around player.
He's
and
just a
also,
great worker.
Also great.
Look at that.
No.
As soon as you pay a compliment.
Look at that. Yeah. As soon as the accolades start coming.
Oh, that was hard.
That was hard.
That was a hard fall. Hush of silence falls over the crowd here at Louisville, Kentucky Convention Center.
We've got a player down. Number 9, Eric Newby.
Looks like he's okay.
I think he's all right, Coach.
I think he is.
He's all right.
Nice to see him back on the court. Able to maintain his. Wait, we got a sub here.
We've got a substitution for your St. Louis Rugby Rams. Number 10, Larry the Porterhouse Porter. Coming in for number 1, Kerry Morgan. Kerry Morgan, a fantastic job out there.
Number 2 whistled for 10 seconds in the key from Seattle.
Number 2, Matt Clay got caught.
Matt got stuck in there, and I mean, you got to think it was the Porterhouse that was the reason for that turnover.
Chuck Melton, a little bit of trouble. Able to create space as Mike Schamberg gets that ball. Just lays it into Chuck Melton's
No giving
lap.
up, though, in anybody out here. They've worked hard to get to this place. Nobody's given up today.
Absolutely. Seattle still pushing, still going, still trying for it. With that score, Eric Newby brings it to 45-38.
That's actually Eric's 22nd goal of this game.
Amazing. Heads up outlet pass to Leon for the score. 39-45, St. Louis. 1 minute
1 minute.
left in our game.
Hold on to the ball. Head up, boy.
The Porterhouse is bringing it.
Larry, the Porterhouse.
Does he have the sauce to finish it off?
Schamberg just couldn't handle that one. Chili sauce, hot sauce,
Special sauce. And just like they got it, just like that, they got it right back.
Schamberg turns it over, but he's able to get it back. It looks like the Gray Ghost is going into the no-no zone. No-no box, sin box.
Looks like he may finish the game out there.
I'm afraid so.
Porterhouse looking for the inbound. There it is, but there it is. Your player,
A design play.
Eric Newby, picking up the trash.
St. Louis looking just to
kill the clock.
just to waste some time.
6 points on the clock, or lead.
There's that score, bringing the Gregos back in.
7-point margin now, 46-39.
Got about 18 seconds left on the game clock. There's no shot clock, Coach. There's a turnover. I believe they're just going to sit this one out. About 10 seconds left. Newby's got the ball, protecting it. There it is. That's it, Coach.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Division II national champions, the St. Louis Rugby Rams.
Congratulations, St. Louis. Great, great tournament. Great 3 days of play.
What a well-played game. A special congratulations goes out to the Seattle Slam. What a great season for them. This may not have been in their time, but they finished it off. They finished this game in true competitive fashion.
Absolutely. They never gave up. It looked there in the third quarter. They were a little gassed. It looked like the heat was getting to them. But, you know, they came back in the fourth, gave it their all. You know, St. Louis was able to keep their composure and capitalize on all of their turnovers, create some turnovers. Great job.
Coach Sue Tucker, congratulations.
Congratulations.